Cheers, Scorpio. It's November 2024. This is a very significant month for you. I'm going to show you why as we move these karmic planets into their motion so you can get a view of what's happening for you throughout November 2024. New moon on the 2nd, where in your sun sign, Mercury getting ready to exit there, but still a potent conjunction on the 3rd there with the moon making contact, Mercury moving out into your finance sector, and then the moon pursuing it while Venus is there. Now, I'm going to tell you this is very, very potent because the moon is debilitated in your sun sign. That means it doesn't function so well in the sign of Scorpio. New moon is a new lease of life, a new perspective, a new chapter opening up for you, all related to yourself, who you are and how you deal with people. This is a really, really transformative period for you. Not only that, you've had the retrograde Uranus in the opposite end of the horoscope in Taurus for some years now. Now it's retrograde again, making some waves. It's also showing you are pursuing an unusual sort of course in terms of your relationships right now. You want something different. You're not, well, maybe it's progressive and different in that sense, but you also don't want there's a bit of a challenge there because we see that new moon against Uranus. Part of you wants the fixity and the stability of a relationship, but you don't want the boredom and the robotic sort of interplay that very often accompanies traditional relationships and the roles that we play in that. So you're exploring, experimenting, looking at maybe different types of people if you're not yet in a relationship. That we can see has been also impacted by Neptune and Saturn retrograde in the 5th house of love affairs, and that growing energy of the new moon coming to the 5th house, love affairs, creativity. You're exploring different methodologies in your creative domain as well, I would say. And I can attest to this, being a Scorpio, that this 5th house is not easy for the relationship that you have with your children. There can be some very, very big karmic tests. You have to remain flexible in that area. You have to adjust yourself. You may want to be uncompromising in that respect. That may also be the case when the moon hits its full phase there in the conjunction of Uranus. Look at that, that's powerful, in the 7th house of relationships. So that powerful emotional conjunction is going to play out in the relationships. Here we see that Uranus for you rules your 4th house, which is the family area. A lot of these areas are all tied in, of course. But I think it's notable that you are exploring your relationships. You may not have felt settled in the role that you've been playing for some years. You may have been a model, a role model in that area, but now find that, as we develop and we evolve within ourselves, there's a bit of a dichotomy, a bit of a gap between being true to ourselves as we were, because of course ourselves are changing. So if we hold on to those same values and standards, but our self is changing, then of course that gap becomes one of a lack of authenticity. We don't feel honest in ourselves. And children do that for us as well as our relationships. But children, believe it or not, even when they're young, they can really start prodding that self-honesty button. They can start pressing that very strongly because we start to realize that there's an anomaly, there's a gap and a disconnect between what we're professing, what we're saying we should do, in contrast to what we are doing. So these are important aspects this month related to how you change yourself, how you realign yourself with the values that are useful for you today, not 10 years ago, 20 years ago. That is the difficulty for some Scorpios, because Scorpio, along with Taurus and Aquarius, are fixed sign. Leo also sits in that particular category. So you need to learn the art of flexibility so that you give life the opportunity to give you the lessons that you absolutely need. That lesson's going to continue. You see here the transit of Pluto into your fourth house of family and self-satisfaction, the retrogression of Mercury right at the end of the month. That's in the finance sector with the sun. Some minor recalibration there may be necessary under the retrograde Mercury, the way you communicate. It does have to do with your profitability. So if you're a business person, then you may need to look at ways of increasing that sort of side of your business. And that requires a lot of communication, discussion, maybe even recontracting as a result of Mercury ruling contracts. Find out what's going on at astrology.com.au. Follow the links, Scorpio. We've got some more information for you there at the site. We do need your subscription. It would be really helpful to us if you could subscribe. Just click the button. That's all it requires. That's all I'm asking from you for my work that I share with you. Hit the like button and don't forget to come back next month. I'll be here waiting for you. Take care now. Bye-bye.